Okay, those who know me and have paid attention to my videos know that I don't go off my nut for no reason. I don't say things unless I've got evidence to back it up. And I sure as hell don't say anything unless I've given somebody at least 3 chances to fix the problem or sort it out. So that's what's brought me to doing this video. On the 30th of May, I left the hospital because of my leg, and I got told by the social workers at the hospital to talk to Straven. Straven are the crowd who were the ones that they recommended to that deal with families and stuff, because trying to get me a home, because as you know, I've been made homeless thanks to our government. Prior to that, I had talked to LifeWise, who again said they dealt with families and couldn't help me, and Monticello, same problem as well. Why I waited so long to do this video is because I was giving Te puea a chance to make themselves basically honour their word. It's the easiest way to put it. Because Straven sent me out on approximately the 2nd of June to see Te puea marae. I went out there with my leg being so fucked up the way it was, as you saw from the first videos and clips and stuff, how purple and everything else, well, it went to the blisters and everything else. When I got there, they made me get out my car and hobble in pain to their gate piece just so they could sign me in, and then they shoved me in a car, took me around the back and said about they'd talk to me, assess me and everything else. That was at 8 o'clock in the morning. By 9 o'clock in the morning, still in the car, took me over to the doctor's, had an appointment with the doctor then burst my blisters, or rather the nurse did, wrapped it up, said about coming back next day, and I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. Well, we waited to see what Te puea had in store for me for the rest of the day. Left the doctor's at 11 o'clock. Or just after 11. Went back to the marae, still in the car. Needed to put my leg up. Waited around and around and around, still in the car. Couldn't get out the car because I had to go to the bathroom and everything else. And again, no assistance whatsoever. Lunchtime comes around and one of the guys suddenly realises, oh, I need something to eat. So he gets me something to eat. And then disappears, and they leave me again sitting in the car, and I need to put my leg up. It's getting more and more painful because, again, the way my leg is. He says, yeah, no, the assessor will be here, the assessor will be here. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the assessor finally shows up. My leg is now extremely painful. I've had to cobble to the bathroom twice. At one stage where I end up coming back from the bathroom, hobbling, in pain and suffering. I had Blaine, who was the little Nazi who was in charge down at the marae, turn around and say that I have an attention deficit disorder because I'm sitting on a seat, crying my eyes out in fucking pain, while they're waltzing around, mucking me around, when all they had to do was do their assessment, tell me whether they could help me or not, and let me go. But no, by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they finally hadn't done that. Then finally the lady shows up. She finishes at 4 o'clock in the afternoon doing her assessment, while I'm still sitting in a car in a pair of shorts and a top, because it's starting to get cold. And they muck and mess around, and then they turn around and eventually say, oh, they can't help me. And they talk to somebody at social welfare, and then they talk to those at Straven and said, oh, well, we'll get a lady to come pick you up, and we'll send you off to a motel for the night because there's nothing they can do to assist me. And I'm like, okay, that's about 5 o'clock by now. 6 comes round, I'm now freezing my ass off. I have to beg them to get my coat and my antibiotics, and end up getting upset again because, again, I'm still in pain and suffering. Eventually, by about 8 o'clock, because friends of mine had showed up around just after 6, and they had words with them, and they actually brought my coat round to me and that. And then at 8 o'clock that night, which is now nearly 12 hours since I originally arrived on the marae, they finally take me around to my car, and they said that the lady from Straven was going to come and pick me up and take me to the motel. And I'm like, well, please put me in my car because my leg needs to be elevated. I'm in screaming pain and agony because I'm immune to painkillers, which I've been telling them for nearly 12 hours. I said, when she comes here, that way she can just knock on the window, and then I can crawl into the front and somehow manage to get to where they're taking me. And they're like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, okay. And because they finally get me around to my car, it's around about 8 to 8:30. I crashed out in the back and I passed out. When I came back around again, nobody had come knocking on the door, nobody had done anything, so around about 10 o'clock that night, I took off. In the time period I sat there, which was over 8 hours, I watched all this food come in, I watched all this stuff come in, I watched people coming and going, and I saw one family who arrived with just them and their baby, and when they left, they had a car full of stuff with clothes and all the bits and pieces that they had with the clothes, all the stuff for baby, all the stuff for them and everything else. And the entire time I was there, they did not offer me a jacket or anything that I could wear or use, or a blanket that I could wear or use. In fact, the only thing I got was 4 hot chocolates and some food. That was it. Besides being ignored, passed off, or insulted. So I'm like, okay, and I sat and I waited politely. My friends are involved with the marae. Why I'm saying about this is because 2 weeks later, the video that's the piece that's on homelessness, which I've got reference to on both the Wake Up New Zealand page and my page, comes out, which is on the Wednesday night, which is a week ago. The lady, which is Kim, came over with the story crowd, and they did a bit of filming with me, did a lot of filming with those who were doing the homeless protest and everything else, and showed a little bit on me. Now, when they came and did that, the marae warden that was with them was one of the ones I'd seen at the marae, and he piped up in front of the lady reporter and says, "Oh, I'll get you a couple of blankets." I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, fine," because the weather's getting ho-ha and everything else. A week later, still don't have the blankets, and in fact, I've heard nothing but excuses from them yet again. And also in the meantime, since the piece is aired, everybody's concerned about those over at Bruce Pullman Park. Nobody's come to see me, nobody's come to talk to me. I've been in my car longer than most of them have. I'm in a worse situation than most of them have. And yet, I know of at least 6 agencies and a dozen churches who are all fighting over each other so they can help the people over at Bruce Pullman Park who are living in the cars, who actually are getting to the point, from what I've been told, don't even want their help anymore because they don't want to be on camera, they don't want anything to get involved, because that's why a lot of them are the way they are. Whereas in my case, I need help. And what did I get? Nothing. What have I had from everybody? Nothing. What do I keep getting? Nothing. And when I reminded my friend about the business with the blanket, where the guy made me the promise in front of the reporter and then hasn't kept his word, he went off his nut at me and said I'm being vindictive. And yet here I am being fucked over by everybody left, right and centre. So I've decided to make said video because I don't like people who lie to me. I don't like being cheated, and I certainly don't like being conned, nor do I like to have people make themselves look good at my expense, because that's exactly what he did at one point. So that's why I have done this. If my friend doesn't like it that I'm talking about all this, he can go fuck himself, because I've had enough of being nice to people who are fucking me over. That's why this video is now up, and this is what I have seen and what I've heard and what's been involved with over the last 4 weeks since I came out of hospital, with this fucking leg of mine, with my health condition and everything that's been going on, including with me being homeless.